Welcome to the Grappling with Life podcast. Today, I'm joined by a very special guest because every time he's around, he makes me feel good. And we actually crossed paths a few years back during my civilian life when I had a job. And we worked together.
I was a Rambo that come and rescue out, yeah?
So, this is my very dear friend, Abdul Jaleel, also known as AJ. Assalamu alaikum, Abdul Jaleel.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
I've been trying to get this guy on the pod. To be honest with you, I wanted him to be my first guest.
But why are you saying it like that?
Wallahi, bro, seriously.
I've been wanting to get this guy for
Yeah,
so
yeah.
long.
Like,
Like,
he's been all-
do you know what I mean, bro?
You know, bruv, don't let me expose the WhatsApp messages. Nah, man, I don't want to do it. And
You know what?
Didn't
Yeah,
you
no,
say that?
Yeah, 100%. You know
Yeah.
what? Like, you know, yeah, I think...
Was
I'm
it
always-
insecurities? Was it insecurities more?
No, not even that. I think sometimes... I learned this from you, bro. Like, you got to be mindful when you say yes to things.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, bro.
And you got to be mindful when to say no to things. And is it in line with your purpose?
Yeah, you did say that to me on there.
Doesn't it?
Yeah,
Do you know
you
what I
said
mean? And
that
I
to
think
me.
that was so important. And then I
So
had
what's
to,
changed, blood?
Huh? I think because my love for you.
Oh,
Do you know what I mean? Like,
so you love me more now than you did. Is
No,
that
it was just like, you know what? Like, I thought, you know what, Mohammed's podcast. I watched the podcast myself, man.
Barakallah fik,
And I
bro.
said to you earlier before, there's other podcasts out there, but I haven't watched. Even though you don't have much,
Yeah.
but I haven't watched it as much as I've like watched your one compared
Yeah.
to others. You know what I mean, I watched
appreciate
others and I really like it, man. I like the theme and what you're doing. You know, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna go on there and just support him, man.
Barakallah fik. I appreciate that,
That
bro.
was it, bro. And I've had others as well. Like I think I've done one. Other than this, I've done one.
Which I
again.
watched it yesterday. The unscripted one.
Yeah.
Was that the only one you did?
That's the only one I did.
Yeah,
you
I
know?
like that one, mashallah.
And that was only again like for me it was kind of like, you know, if I'm gonna go there and you know kind of benefit and people watch, and so my kind of I knew that a lot of the people that watch that are more kind of like community activists, parents, a bit more adults. So that was my kind of like approach. I'm not sure what your view is like here, but because you know.
It's just dudes, bro.
Just dudes, yeah.
Loads of dudes, man. But the thing, you know what it is? It's we're just trying to figure it out. Well, the other day I was thinking, subhanAllah, we started in February. Look, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, October. That's 8 months. It's coming up to a year since we started.
Yeah.
And I've been talking about this for years, bro. Like, we need to start doing something. We need to do something. But there was never the right time. Yeah?
Yeah.
And then the pandemic hit. I still didn't do nothing. We shot one that I could not air because it was on Zoom and everything. I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
And then like this grappling with life kind of, I wanted to, like I said to you off air, this kind of martial arts, business and technology, that kind of stuff, and self-improvement. I wanted to kind of somehow link these three things, which are my passions. But I wanted to talk about, because I haven't spoke about myself much in this podcast. I haven't really, the viewers don't know how did I get to this point?
Your journey,
Does that make
basically.
sense? My journey here. And I don't like talking about myself either, but I think this is a good opportunity for us to discuss how we met, because again, we've already had this conversation off air, but we met in 2014, bro. Right?
Yes.
15 was when you came to that Salesforce event.
I met you the year before.
So so it's 2014, right?
Yeah, because we've done the summer together.
Summer.
We set the spend. We're in South End Beach, bro.
Oh my days.
Jumba.
Okay, so now it's starting to come back, yeah?
Yeah.
So just for the viewers, I'll just line it up for you, yeah? So I think I spoke about this, but I used to work for a charity that worked with young people based in East London, in Brick Lane, heart of Bangla Town. And I worked there for 10 years. I left in 2016 to kind of do this full-time, do my tech stuff full-time and Legion and whatever you see here, right? So in 2015, I started in 2006. No, 2008 I started, yeah. Just post-credit crunch.
Okay.
So Credit Crunch was, so the first program I ran was with Lehman Brothers.
Okay.
And do you remember what? Lehman Brothers was the first, I think one of the first banks to fold during the crisis.
Okay.
The program I started, literally every email I would send, they'll bounce to Lehman Brothers. And then eventually I found out, oh my gosh, the bank actually collapsed and this whole thing. And then that's when, do you remember the whole disassembling of the youth service started?
Yeah.
Right?
And I think it impacted your organisation.
Big time.
Because you guys were not statutory.
Yeah.
Because you weren't getting that kind of money. But I remember you was like running around like a headless chicken trying to get any sort of...
Yeah, funding. So remember
funding,
from 2008 to when I met you, 2015, we were in Rich Mix office, right?
I don't know what the office was called, but it was...
Oh no, it's in Brick Lane. Sorry.
Brick Lane.
Was it were builders there?
Yeah. Well,
we partitioned it, right?
Yeah, you sharing it.
So, okay, just to give you a bit of background, in 2015, we had a new CEO come in, and we had to slash our budget. So what we did was, there was this, do you remember Bangla City?
Yeah.
That,
you know what his office happened, yeah? You know you get those shots that do well, then 6 hours later they don't do well, and then you turn half it into a coffee shop, and then you don't do well, then you turn to a phone shop. So then you walk in, the back is all the same, but the front was all different. And that's what happened to him. So they had the basement.
It's like you got a butcher shop.
We ain't got the basement. I go, why? The builders took it. I was like, okay, you come in next thing is, bruv, like, we didn't even have this bit. It's just that bit corner there.
We're working outside.
And then, bruv, I came back next time, yeah? Bruv, next time I came back, yeah? Next time I came back, bruv, they're up and left.
Yeah. Bruv, check
I was like, where you gone, man? He's like, yeah, we moved.
Yeah. So check this out. This is funny. It's like a butcher shop, then he's got a barber shop inside the butcher shop, bro. Have you seen them ones? Or phone fixing service, and then he's got like, I don't know, like selling whatever. So what happened was, bruv, it was like we were doing CPR.
Yeah.
To the charity, bruv. It was dying. Bruv, from that spawned my tech business. From that tragedy, bruv, I was on the verge of losing my job. Yeah. So that charity was spending so much money on IT. So what I approached the CEO, I said, look, I can actually get this down to about 5-6 grand a year. Yeah. And they were spending about 20-30 grand on IT. So we revolutionized the whole, Zach went in there, pushed everything up into the cloud, got rid of all the servers, and then eventually, so Bangla City was getting built across the road.
Yeah.
There's a hotel now. So those builders were looking for a site office.
To put their bricks in.
I just went and spoke to them. I said, listen, do you want to rent the office, bruv? So got him in, and then we managed to pay for the whole year's rent with that deal. So we were literally living there rent free that year. That makes sense. And then eventually, we had to just chop everything down. And then that's when I met you. Funny thing, bruv. I mashed myself up, yeah? What happened was, because we blocked everything off, I wasn't getting any sunlight to where I was sitting.
Yeah, I remember you sit.
Remember right in the back? Do you remember?
Yeah.
Bruv, I suffered from low vitamin D. Bruv, one day my wife had to come pick him up from work, drag me out of the bruv, imagine she had to pick me up from work, literally, and I couldn't even get into the car. I had to go and get a blood test. They were like, oh, you got really low vitamin D.
Yeah, because you was right at the back.
Right at the back. Because before there was windows on both sides, innit?
Yeah.
Anyway, so, and then, did you? How did we met? Did you phone me, bro?
To your office and
you did.
My man took off his trainers and shoes, and he's looking at socks. I was like, bro, man, you're in the office environment, bro.
We were like, that's it.
But I'm sure he had his feet up as well.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there, I was saying, man, you do this, yeah? He's like, yeah, bro, I do this.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to say. I was like,
I conditioned those white people, bro. I conditioned them, bro. And the thing is, what's funny, AJ comes in. I think, how did you even, you just rang me from...
You know what?
Was it a bit random?
How I met you was, I was working for another organisation, and my role was providing service to those young people, and I had to but my philosophy was always like, if we don't have the resource or capacity, who can we reach out to?
Yeah.
And I already knew about your organisation from my experience years ago.
Right.
And I was like, oh, they're still around. Like, see what's going on.
So did you participate in...
No, this is years.
Years ago. When you were young.
In 1998, 99.
Right. So you were.
Yeah. So I was the first as a young person. I remember. And later on,
what did you do?
They had summer courses.
Yeah. So just to explain, what we used to do is we used to run 3 summer courses, but something about 200 summer courses.
It was amazing, man.
Over the summer.
I don't want to mention name, but certain like famous people came through that.
Well, you can, innit? Dizzy Rascal, bro.
Yeah.
Dizzy Rascal came.
Yeah. But also the other a lot of grandmas.
Yeah, so a few.
I'm sure there was a video in Hackney College where D Double and that was there.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, man. There's a video of D Double and that was a summer program.
Okay, but because they put on free music courses, FA coaching courses.
Yeah.
It was such a
Asian
good idea,
Dub
bro.
as well. I don't even know about Asian Dub Foundation now.
No, I've heard of them.
So it's one of like a lot of people came through.
Yeah,
obviously they end up in different places in their life, which may not be aligned to what we
of course,
what we choose to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember it was a big thing, and then that was so then that time I reached out to your organization. I remember meeting your colleague, like on the email. She's like, "Yeah, we could arrange a meeting," and then she said,
"Who was it you spoke? Do you remember
the lady that was from Trinidad?"
Oh, Chantel. Yeah.
Chantel. And she was like, "Oh yeah, you can come meet my colleague Mohammed."
Yeah.
You know when you meet so many Muslim professionals, like I already had a perception of it.
Yeah. What was the perception?
Huh?
Because we've worked in the field.
No, because I don't want to be.
No. But say it, bro, because it's important.
But sometimes, you know, certain professionals, you go in there and like you know, they'll be hesitant to give salam.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So when someone said Muhammad, I thought, okay, maybe you just like, I know, whatever, innit? You know what I mean?
A Mo.
Yeah, like a Mo.
And by the way,
I don't want to say that, man.
Because you know what? My colleague tried to call me Mo once. I said, don't call me Mo.
Yeah.
Can I call you bro?
No, don't call me Mo. That's my pet peeve, bro.
Yeah.
Because my name's Mohammed, bro.
MashaAllah.
It's not Mo, it's Mohammed. And I like that name. Yeah. And actually, I'll tell you the story, actually, what happened once. It's actually embarrassing, bro.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say it out here, just so that the young Muslims out there listening to this will take advice from, take a lesson from this. I was about...
My name's Ahmed, we call me Steven.
No, listen to this one. I was 8 years old. No. Just pre-secondary school, yeah?
Yeah.
And I used to go to my aunt's house in West London, bro. That's why I don't like West London, innit? But
Okay.
I do like West London. But at that time, the area that is very white, very Cockney. Maida Vale. Can you imagine Maida Vale area, bro?
Yeah, I know you made it, bro.
But it wasn't, like now it's just full of Arabs, bro.
Yeah.
But back in, we were talking about 90s here, yeah?
Yeah.
There was like these, you know, the kind of white people that we would work with on the front line. Does that make sense? You know the type, yeah?
Yeah.
And the type that the BNP kind of love.
Yeah.
So I'm in. There's this little football area, yeah, and they're just swearing, and I'm there, bruv. And obviously, my house. You say anything close to the S word or the F word, yeah, you're getting slapped, bruv. Do you see what I'm saying? And coming from a Muslim household, yeah, so I'm just like, what? And then they started saying racist stuff, bruv. Like just, bruv. I was shocked how racist they were. Because I'm fair, yeah. Without a beard, obviously young. I look like a white boy, yeah. So they're like, "What's your name?" And I'm like, "Right, if they're saying Muhammad, like something's gonna have to go down, isn't it?" And the thing is, last thing I want is either my dad or my uncle to come down because the whole area is gonna get turned over, bruv. Yeah. So I go, "My name's Michael, bruv." It just came into my head, Michael, yeah. But you know what it was? It was the feeling of shame afterwards.
Yeah.
How old were you, bro?
I sold out, bro.
How old were you?
I was about 10, maybe. I sold out. But imagine that profound feeling inside my heart that I was ashamed that I couldn't say my name was Muhammad, bro. Because and that moment almost dictates how I am right now.
Yeah.
It kind of put me on because then I heard what they were like when there was no people around. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
When we were around, they might tone it down a bit.
Yeah.
Do you understand? But then it gave me a little glimpse of what it was like. And then after that, I was like, wallahi, I will never, ever do that again. Because I went home and I didn't tell my parents or anything. It was like a notch in my brain. Remember that. So now, before anyone calls me Mo, bruv, no, my name's Muhammad, bro. Say it with the ha as well, bruv.
Yeah. But you know what?
that's anyway. So go on.
No, that's the important thing because I think what you're talking about is identity. It's not some linguistic. It's not just cutting it down. People say, "Well, that's a bit, like far-fetched." I said, "No, it's an identity," and I think I had to have that conversation with myself. I'm digressing,
100%.
but I had to have a conversation because, Abdul Jaleel is my name, but that's actually not my birth name.
Yeah.
And then
what's your birth name, bro? Is it some? You don't have to. Is it proper Bengali, bro?
No, it's a Bangladeshi name.
Like
It's a Bangladeshi.
Ramesh.
No.
No, Ramesh is not Bengali.
Rohil.
Kokun.
You know what?
Dada bhai.
Russell.
I don't know what to say, bro, yeah? But,
okay, go on, carry on.
Yeah, so then I think I had to have that conversation as well with myself. And then I think, because, I was known as, my identity was AJ. And we have different labels that give us the identity. And then for a period, I didn't really, I had to question and then when I went to Grove, I think it all came back because I went to Grove. And when I went to Grove, I used to work in the Moroccan community.
Yeah.
So I say, my name's Abdul Jaleel. Right now, we're going to call you AJ. What do you say that, bro? What do you say to that? I'm like, no, my name's Abdul Jaleel. No, bro, we're going to call you AJ. Innit? The young guys, isn't it, yeah? And I realized, hold on a minute. Why am I making an issue? If that's what they're comfortable with and so forth, I'm like, that's cool. And that's when I started to become more comfortable with it. And then I realized, hold on, my intention is not to dilute my identity. And Mohammed knows that.
Yeah, 100%.
Alhamdulillah, because the people that work around me, okay, you might call me AJ, but you know how I kind of navigate at my workplace. Yeah. I still observe, we used to go and play Salah together, man.
Remember,
we used to, do you know what I mean? So I think that's how I saw it. But going back to the question in terms of me meeting you, so I remember seeing your name and I was like, okay, who's the brother? And I thought, no problem. So I went in there, I had a meeting, and I still remember where Mohammed was sitting at the end by the top of the table, bro. You know where he used to sit? Remember this the meeting table used to be? He used to sit at the end, that means the Godfather was sitting, bro.
But who was the meeting? Who was in the meeting?
You, Chantel.
Yeah.
And me and I think this
CEO, Michelle.
Possibly or someone, yeah?
Yeah, it was
I remember.
Michelle.
But that time I'm still seeing, okay, what you're about or whatever. But I think, and I was saying, okay, this is what you're gonna do. I remember you using our venue to deliver.
Yes.
And that was where the magic happened.
Yeah.
I don't use the term, but that's where I thought, raw, mashallah. Because that's when I saw you and I remember you just had, about 30 kids in a room. You were just taking them on a journey. And I used to sit in the corner, innit?
Oh, did you watch one of my sessions?
Yeah, because I was there. Remember, because the computer used to be around the corner. On the
you took about when we were, so bro, you're skipping things now, bro.
Yeah, in the city, because after that I didn't see you again. After then, you come in.
No, because what happened was so we were running an 11-week program, it's almost like a personal development program for guys that have either left uni or out of work or whatever.
Yeah.
They were trying
they were unemployed basically.
For me, I wanted to move away from calling it a employment program because that's not what it was. I refused to. Because these kids, I don't want, if work is not what you want to do, if education is something that you have to get into, whatever, for me it was more about personal development.
100%.
So our thing was, we'd run it, our ethos, that's why it worked really well, is that why recreate the wheel? Yeah? So, and believe it or not, it was very difficult to find hard to reach young people. They call them hard to reach in the industry. I say industry in what would you call it? It's not an industry, is it? It's a sector. Thank you. Yeah. So in a sector, you'd call it hard to reach. And hard to reach is someone. You know, it's funny. They call them hard to reach, but you're not looking in the right place. That's the problem. Yeah. Because they used to call them hard to. I'm like, they're not hard to reach. I open my door, I see them. Yeah. We live in council estates, bro. We see them every day. Does that make sense? Is you don't know. Yeah. Yeah. But so YMCA was like the pointy end of that, because it was other people that were homeless, right? Or
well, we were in a couple. I think we had a mix of people.
Yeah, mix, but there was only a couple. Those ones that were really hard. They needed work to get onto the course. They needed a pre-course. Remember, we talked about that. They needed something before they got into our course. Because those guys were like, rah. Remember that one kid, like, but we're walking. He's looking for cigarettes on the floor, bro. That's the type of guy he was. Do you see what I'm saying? So he needed help. Yeah. Before, like, he needed to get cleaned up, and do you get me? So,
but the thing is that for me, that is really where even my journey started. Yeah. When I saw you, because I was like,
how long were you working there before
I was there for about nearly 6 years.
But before we met?
Before we met, maybe like 3 years.
Okay, right.
Then I did another 3 years.
So what happened was you guys gave us a venue. Bruv, do you know the venue? You know where it was?
Old Street.
It was in Old Street, but in the market, bruv.
Yeah.
It was some like shop front in the market.
Old Street.
Yeah, next to where you live.
Oh, there's a market in Old Street.
Yeah, you know, you call it
What's
Chapel
it called,
Market.
bro? Chapel
Oh,
Market.
Chapel Market.
the food market.
No, that's Angel.
No, not there.
Chapel
Not there.
Not Chapel Market, sorry, that's
there.
Angel one. It's
No,
called,
what's it called, bruv?
It's
It's,
called White Cross Street.
Yes,
White
that's the
Cross
one.
Street. Yes.
White
Banging
Cross
food, by the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Me and AJ got fat eating there, bruv. We got fat eating there, though, bruv.
Yeah.
Remember them raps that used
Yeah,
to...
the Turkish
Yeah,
raps.
the Turkish raps and stuff. So yeah, we'd run this 11-week program. And AJ would be there, he'd open up for me.
I would just open up and because I was be upstairs in the office and I'll be because I've kind of partnered them up and I used to tell like Mohammed just come down, the young people to come down. But sometimes I used to sit downstairs because I was trying to see what they were doing. And like, mashallah, like Mohammed, you might have to leave the room for this.
Well, just keep the camera on him.
I don't know where I keep saying where's it gonna go, bro? Because I'm just on stairs.
Just keep the camera on him.
There might be a secret door where you have to walk in, yeah? Yeah. But I think when I saw Mohammed, you know what it was, to be honest with you? And I think this goes back to grappling with life, the whole theme is that being a Muslim, being in that environment and delivering this personal development program to young people who's probably a mash-up already at that time in my life, I was like, mashallah, like, wow. And I remember after we did the program, and I used to see you talking about different concepts and you're giving them different mentoring and the type of discussion. And I said to you, Mohammed, how did you get to where you get to? And Mohammed was like, oh, I did this course and I did that. And I told you this, I did the same course that Mohammed did.
Yeah,
After he left, I went and found the course. The education training.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
He did the high level. And I did another. I found it. Qadr Allah. I found it. I did it. I tell this to my young people, by the way, now.
Yeah.
And I was telling them this the other day because I was delivering. So Mohammed was doing, I saw Mohammed do it. And the engagement he had, the mashallah, the impact. I was like, boy, I've been working with young people, but not like on this level of impact. I felt like a caretaker sometimes. You just come in and open them. Do you know what I mean? You feel like the lollipop man.
You know what's funny,
You know when the
AJ?
lollipop man, you cross the road like hi. That's what I feel like, you know.
You know what's funny, AJ? You know what's funny? You know when I met AJ, do you remember that sketch from Dave Chappelle?
Which one?
There's two black guys on the plane.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, oh my God, they're going to save us. You know that one?
Yeah.
Like, you know when I met him,
He just
it
like
was
this.
like, you know, we had locked eyes. And then immediately, you know, all our ancestors just aligned, bro. Like, everything, you know, like, because obviously we've kind of been around the same circles. We've never met, but you know, you've met though.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Just click.
We just got each other,
We
bro.
just
Like, it was just
And
something
when
to it.
Bruv, we were too much for them. You know, when we were in that meeting, I had to calm Michelle down, bro. I had to calm her down. So, because he's got a beard, I've got a beard. He's Muslim, I'm Muslim. Having two of those full-blooded guys.
I remember
yeah?
that conversation you had.
Do you remember?
And he had to sell them. He
I had to
bruv, he had to
I
put a
said,
pitch.
listen, can
Like,
you
why
imagine
I'm
that,
so
bro?
ideal for the... Why I'm
Yeah.
so ideal to do...
Yeah.
Because,
I said, you need to... But honestly, I had to see past his beard, bro. I was like, listen, I know what you're thinking. I said to them, I know what you're thinking. You have to understand, he's me. Do you understand? He's me, man. I think that probably was the problem, innit? But
we were like Mike Larry, bro, from Bad Boys and that, bro.
it was exactly like that, bro.
Bro.
So I had to actually but there was not a prejudice, but there was a hesitance because they're good people. They're good people, but I feel like, but they've never met people like us. Does that make sense?
And I think also the fact that, and you know what, I was still quite new. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was still like to do it at the standard that Mohammed was doing. I was watching. I was like the students watching, but you know, I think they had their, you know, apprehensiveness in terms of some of the things, but they don't realize.
You, bruv. I was
yeah,
like,
but I
listen.
think they don't realize the struggle that we have to go through as Muslims.
Yeah, 100%.
And Algerian, Bangladeshi,
Yeah.
and so forth. You know, if you look, far more behind. Do you understand? Like in terms of our development and
100%.
understanding. So they're looking at, oh, we wanted to be at that standard. Yeah, you're talking about someone who just come out degree, just come out from outside of London, and that's what you're expecting. But not someone who's like still trying to learn. Do you know what I mean?
No,
It doesn't
but I
matter.
think it's more than that, AJ, though, bro. That's the thing. It's more than that.
But what were you doing before that though?
No, but listen.
I was doing more. I was doing more one-to-one support. I wasn't delivering. It was what Mohammed was doing. What we call like informal education. Like he will go in, plan a session, deliver the session, get these young people to be in a place, in a cognitive mentally, in a certain place in terms of some sort of learning that they're gonna get out of it. Yeah. You hear me? Whether like. It sounds quite a broad topic, but they're quite specific. Like, for example, like how to even communicate with people. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It sounds so basic, but a lot of these young people don't know how to communicate. Because when they communicate, they impose, they're aggressive. Are you with me?
Yeah.
And they're very like sabotaging themselves.
Yeah.
But they don't know how to articulate and actually persuade someone to meet their needs. That's a skill. That's something that needs to be taught. So when I saw Mohammed teaching those things, and obviously he's basing it on some sort of development book, that, bruv, that's like that. Bruv, I was all over that book, man.
Yeah, I remember.
Because he based his program based on Stephen Covey, like Seven Habits of Highly Effective People, and I never knew about that book. And Mo was like, astaghfirullah. I said, Mo.
No, you're allowed to say it.
No, I'm not gonna say it.
No, you're allowed to say it. It's people.
If I say it again, just cut off the mic, cut it short, and just upload it.
No, you don't understand,
That would be ended. Just upload it. That would be ended. I said Mo.
No,
we don't need to continue.
Like, you can say Mo because you've earned the right to say Mo, bro.
I'll never say it, bro.
I'll
say it. Mohammed, bro. No, I'll never say it.
Can I say why?
Why? I can never say it, bro.
It's like how black guys can say the N-word to each other.
Yeah, but I would never say that.
Obviously, I would never say it, obviously. Yeah, but I'm saying, that's for me, you've earned the right.
No, I would never say it. Anyway,
but
Mohammed,
but you did say
it. So what happened was, what's the point that I get, man? My train of thought.
The book 7 Habits.
Yeah, the book 7 Habits. Yeah. So then, I basically took, like, where I saw Mohammed doing, I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to be taking these same young people, come from my community, from my background, and taking them on a journey, and just to kind of mold them and build them up to be whoever they want to be. Do you know what I mean? But in a positive way.
But what pushed you to go to Futureversity and... You know what I mean?
No, because that was work related. That was my work. That was my work related. Okay. So that partnership came from work related, but through that, from the Qadr Allah.
I think the word is serendipity and Qadr. Yeah. It was fortunate, bro.
It was Qadr, man.
It was like...
Now, subhanAllah, and I said this to Mohammed as well. I said to Mohammed, every time I go in, because I deliver now, innit?
Yeah.
And I run workshops in schools. I said to Mohammed, and I ask Allah to accept it. It's to share my reward with him.
Oh, Allah.
Amen.
Honestly.
There's too much bromance on this podcast.
Yeah,
but feelings mutual.
Honestly, I say that because no one does things like, obviously, first and foremost is tawfiq from Allah. Like 100%. Allah gives certain people tawfiq and understanding. Yeah, that's one aspect that was put from our worldview and how we understand, our existence. Yeah. But also there's other aspect that we should always humble ourselves and look at people who are the means of it. It's never from yourself. There's always the means who are like to be you are. So I said to the young people just this week, I said 5 years ago I envisioned to be in this room, in a room like this, to be teaching you guys. Because I go into schools now and I run sessions and workshops, and it's about personal development. And these are young people who are like being, at risk of being excluded, and being like coming on periphery or being involved in violence in the community. So all of that kind of years of, I left my job because I wanted to go and work for another organization that specialized in designing training programs for young people. It was a part-time job, and it wasn't even the main role. It was it wasn't back office, but it was like it was the admin. Yeah, I just dropped out because I was like, you know what? Alhamdulillah, like for me, money wasn't never an investment. It was like, if I go somewhere and I could develop some sort of knowledge, and I could have a positive impact, that's me. So I left my full-time job to go and do a part-time job. I was made redundant, But even that story, man, subhanAllah, even that story. Let me go. So I went to this organization who specializes in training. They deliver programs to prisoners, to care, for care, young people in care. They deliver to young people, and they got this crazy program that around behavior. And that's, I think, what I want to talk about today as well. Because a lot of this stuff, I was just on a journey, not to teach others as well. It's more kind of myself as well. Because just like I was in Mohammed's program, I benefit. Even I was sitting in the corner pretending to do my work. My ears was in the workshop. I was like, raw boy, that's like, you know what I mean? And I benefited. And I think that was the thing with my job is the fact that we're not trying to be imposters. We're not trying to be heroes, trying to pretend to be heroes. Like, first and foremost, man, I benefited. Do you know what I mean? And it doesn't matter if you're an adult, you're always going to be learning. And again, that came from Mohammed, sharpen the saw, bro.
Yeah,
sharpen. So, I mean, that's something that we've always spoke about being, and even I think people that work with me, I'm not saying like I'm like so efficient and trying to be something, but I always try to have that S-hand or that excellent in my approach.
Yeah.
And again, like I see Mohammed, bro, like that. Do you know what I mean? Even the way he's seen each other, bro, like I see Mohammed in his approach and the quality he's to deliver and just the standard and the thinking that was going on and the creativity. I was like, you know what? It just sparked something, and alhamdulillah, we're there now. And yeah, so that's where we're at, bro. So I just want to tell you that, man. I want to tell you, and people don't know that. People don't know my journey. People like, and this for me, and it's amazing because I don't even know, but I dropped out of school, man. Like I was one of those kids that got kicked out of school and nearly got kicked out of second school. And then me doing what I'm doing, like you was the means to. Yeah, I never thought I would do, man. So alhamdulillah, bro. Like
I think for when I met you, bro, and I think this is important to kind of remember, is that why were we like that, bro? Do you understand? Like I went through my kind of school, college, but I was lost. Lost completely. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Like, where do I fit in this world, bro? Yeah. But I did know one thing, though. I knew that as a Muslim, because that was my identity, that's something that defines me. Yeah. Do you understand? I'm Muslim first, well, before anything. Yeah? And especially bruv, in our generation, AJ, bro, we grew up September 11th, bro. Think about it. September 11th happened when we just hit college, bro. Yeah. We were defined as terrorists, bro, since we were teenagers. That's trauma, bro. We've always had to explain ourselves. Yeah. Do you understand? Whether you're practicing or not practicing, bro, whether you pray or don't pray, doesn't matter. You always had to, bruv, you know, I've never gone on holiday anywhere, on a plane. I went to Algeria once in 2003, but I've never gone abroad. You know why, bro? I was thinking about that. Why haven't I gone? Bruv, because I didn't want to get profiled in the airport. That's where, when you peel the onion back. Yeah. And I thought, I don't want to go through that trauma in the airport, bro. Me being Algerian, number one. Number two, being from Britain. Yeah. Like immediately, that's who you. Now you fit that profile, and that's who you are. You've got to tell us otherwise. So that kind of what drove me to. I'm a Muslim. Why is that a threat to anyone, bro? And how is it that I have to? Like for example, when the London Bridge attacks happened, yeah. Yeah. And these colleagues I've known for years, bro. Yeah. And they looked to me and they were like, why did they do this?
That is, you know, when things like that happen, yeah?
I'm like, why are you asking me?
It's the most uncomfortable day, bro.
Yeah, so uncomfortable. I'm like, why are you asking me?
And the thing is, they're pretending like nothing's happened. And I'm like thinking, like, I'll go, honestly, man, like, it feels so, there's been a few times, you know, the events that happen.
Yeah, why are you asking me though, bro?
Yeah.
Like what? You think I'm a day away from stabbing you all up, bro. I don't understand. Yeah. You think we're all on the verge of stabbing someone? I go, clearly that guy's got mental health issues, bro. Yeah. Well, that only affects white assailants, innit? Because if you're black or of a certain thing, you don't get mental health issues, bro. But think about it. This guy went and stabbed up people on random. Like that's not normal, man. Oh no, so it was the guy that ran. And there was this whole thing of what was the ethnicity of the guy,
and I mentioned this earlier to you. I think for us being the only Muslims in our organizations, we were like saviors to one another, man.
Yeah, 100%, bro.
So when we saw each other, that love happened, bro.
It was like
that love, bro, like yo, man. And you know when you like whisper,
And then,
Like,
and then
have you seen
remember,
that
remember,
Key and Peele?
Yeah,
when the husbands walk in.
I said.
yeah, that one.
When the wives walk over, like, yo,
yeah, that's the one.
he was like me and Mohammed, yeah.
It was
but
mad.
It was kind of like that, and he
mad,
understood. So, and even when I had flaws, honestly, yeah, even when I had flaws, because I was still learning, because they were on such a level, I struggled and I failed on certain things. I remember I made Mohammed look so bad. I remember to this day, and he was defending me, but
you know
only
what?
because Mohammed's Muslim. That's why he defended me. That's why I saw it. He was like, I'm not gonna let my brother get thrown out.
No way.
Bus.
But you know what it is,
and even though he even put me on check as well,
I stuck it on him.
he checked. I remember having that conversation. Yeah,
like,
bro, my friend was dry, bro.
mad.
There was no shops around. Bro, my friend was dry. You know that street? The next shop was Springfields.
I seen Bear swallowing, bro.
I was like, oh man, I felt so bad. Do you understand? I don't want to go into details, but there was a moment I remember I let him down because I remember he got me in. And
no, but you don't owe me anything. This the thing, AJ. This how I saw it.
Yeah.
You don't know him. I know him. Does that make sense? And he's me.
Bruv, I cracked underneath the pressure.
Bruv.
Because they were Mohammed's people and he brought me in, I cracked.
Bruv,
So I failed, bruv.
No, but you know what? You know what he was suffering from, bro? He was giving it more importance than it was. In his head, this was like FA Cup final, bro, a World Cup final. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And looking back at it, that's what all you suffered from. It was never like.
But that's what minorities at workplace
100%
suffer from that. Do you understand? And do you know what? That was for me. Wasn't a wake up call, but alhamdulillah, like, I come out of that mind frame. So now when I go in a space, even if I'm the only Muslim, I hold my own ground.
Yeah.
Are you with me?
Yeah.
And I don't have that inferiority like, oh, because you're this and you're on that and you're on salary and you're on that salary. I'm like, that's cool, but I'm me and I'm here.
Yeah.
And I think that was so crucial. And I actually saw Mohammed do that as well. Because I saw them, even though Mohammed had his kind of struggles, but what was interesting in that work environment was that Mohammed, they depended on him. Like he was, and I said this earlier on, he was the machine and the brains of that. Like the program they had and the way he thought about the intricate details and how to actually have that conversation and take him to the next stage and each stage. And it's like a building block he was building. And I'm just sitting there watching him just watch that building block. And I was like, that's
But AJ, you know why though, bro? You know why?
But
go on.
And then so the last point I want to say, and last point I want to talk about Mohammed as well.
Thank you, I appreciate that, bro. Oh my God.
You know what? They should call it Mohammed Yahyawi show. You know?
Astaghfirullah, bro.
I don't mind, bro, because I'll come with that fancy clothes. You know when you have to, you know them shows where the guest comes in with a suit and that. Bro, I'll come in with a tuxedo, bro. Do you know what I
do
mean?
it on a Friday night and it has to be live, bro.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
We'll do a side podcast.
Just don't put someone on the sofa and pull the lever and then to jump back. A question, tell us a story. So, one thing that really, and then last point on this, really why I came on the show and just kind of share the story was that time my worldview as a Muslim was narrow. And I don't blame anyone. Maybe because of the environment. The narrow was either, and me and Mohammed had this conversation. You either go to Islamic studies and take that journey, or you work for a charity. And if you're not within those two realms, then we perceive it as, they don't really have an impact.
Yeah.
Are you with me? And I had that mind frame. So that's why I didn't take my job seriously. Because my job was like, it's just bread and butter and so forth. And that's why my impact wasn't there. My sincerity wasn't there. Outside of that, I was already getting some sort of mentoring where my worldview was changing. Where like, hold on, you as a Muslim, you could have an impact in any shape or form as long as you do it for the sake of Allah and it's in a halal area, let's say, for example. Media, community, organization, think tank, politics. I was already having that. Mohammed was basically the visual version of that conversation I was having. So when I saw Mohammed do that, I was like, he might not be in an Islamic organization, he might not be giving Islamic tarbiyah, let's say, for example, but you know what? He's breaking that ceiling. And I saw, mashallah, Mohammed being comfortable there, and that was like, you know what? Muslim can actually break ceilings and go to different areas.
But you know how, and that's enough, yeah?
Yeah?
That's enough.
Huh? I'll text you the next one. Innit?
that's
I'll send a voice note to the brothers later on.
I'm done.
But
And just in case you guys thought I brought him on just to kind of make me look good, I promise you that's not why. Because he's a very interesting person to chat to. But the reason why I brought... For me, I used to tell them hadith without actually quoting the...
Yeah.
But there was bare times I would say a hadith. They don't know it's a hadith, bro.
Bruv, I know
many times, bro. I know non-Muslims that have quoted hadith. They don't even know it's hadith, bro.
I know Islamic programs that incorporate the same stuff that Muhammad was incorporating. I was the one who came across Muhammad. Muhammad was the one who introduced me to the content. I used to go back to some of the Islamic scholars and I was like, oh, do you know, what do you think about this? They were like, yeah, we incorporate in our program. That's part of our tarbiyah. I was like, whoa. And I was like, okay. Do you know what I mean? And that was the kind of like, the world's coming in line that, you know, there's really beneficial things and just a different framework, a different way of looking at it. And I think that was the thing. And they incorporate it.
Yeah, they do.
They actually asked me, can you come and teach this material to our cohort of young people?
And
in Islamic organizations, by the way. So all this stuff that Stephen Covey, they incorporated some of this stuff as well.
Yeah. And it's so now that kind of to move on to this whole thing about personal development. Yeah. Now we're long in the tooth now. We're looked at as the elders now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas when we first started, we weren't. We were kind of, and there's been this kind of what's the word? Revolution of these life hacks.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Time management hacks.
Yeah, productivity.
There's a lot of YouTubers that are doing this stuff, yeah.
Emotions, agility, and resilience,
all that stuff, yeah? So, and it's become a economic. There's apps that have been designed for it. There's diaries that people are selling.
Is it capitalized? Is that even a word, bruv?
What's that?
When something just like become monetized.
Yeah, it's become a movement, bro. It's become this whole productivity. And you know what I've realized, bro? Like, and there's a reason why I didn't want to brand the podcast like this.
Yeah.
Yeah? It's because there's a point where you actually have to do that stuff.
Yeah.
Does that make sense, bro? Like, you can't just keep watching bare productivity stuff and not do anything. Do you see what I'm saying? I know guys, I've met people that are very productive and like they don't watch any of this stuff, bro. So sometimes you can get this fatigue of just watching it and thinking you've done it, but you haven't implemented anything. Do you see what I'm saying? That's the dangers of YouTube and watching video. And that's why I feel like mentoring, having someone older than you or someone who's been, there's no substitute for a person.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Face-to-face.
Yeah.
That face-to-face departing. 100%. Yeah. And I think sometimes I fall into that trap, man. I think I've got this thing, yeah, called, I call it intellectual gymnastics, man. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Like, I watch more probably YouTube videos on fitness than actually probably go do fitness.
That's not just
I get
you,
fascinated.
bro.
I just get fascinated. Oh, so the muscle does this, and if you do this, and if you do you know what I mean? You get so into it, yeah. And you're right. Sometimes that can actually make you less productive.
Yeah,
100%. And it is about dosage, and it's about knowing that. And I agree with you, man. I
but
totally agree
you need
with
someone to guide you through things. I'll give you an example. You can't learn Islam through YouTube.
100%. Yeah.
You need to go to a sheikh and study under him, bro.
Yeah.
He'll take you from, because YouTube, yeah, you watch a little bit of this, and then you jump to something that is way above your station. And all of a sudden, you've got your own YouTube channel. Not real talk. You've got your own YouTube channel, and you're trying to teach people that you barely understand the stuff that you've listened to, and you've put yourself on a level which you're not on. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of guys that eat their teachers. They eat them. They cannibalize their teachers.
Yeah.
Because they don't respect their teachers. They don't respect. This happens in martial arts. This happens in Islamic studies. This happens like, because information is so readily available, yeah? Why do I need a teacher? I can learn it myself.
You know what? I was reading this.
But you're not on that level, bro.
And you know what? This comes down to as human beings. Like, I think there's another my interest area, yeah? Another intellectual gymnastics kind of thing. I think as human beings is that when we be comfortable in the areas that we know, right? We think that that's what we know. And what that does is leads us to become more proud, overconfident, become proud, and that will take you to another spiral. Are you with me? Because you're comfortable, like, I know this. And and that's basically it. But really, and that's what some humans behave like. But there's another element, and I think this comes down to about always trying to find discoveries. Do you know what I mean? Like the gym world, for me, like, for example, it's a different world, man.
Yeah.
This whole thing, like, I was like, right, like,
but it's also a lot of gas, bro.
Yeah, definitely.
Imran, can you pull up Bloom's taxonomy?
Google or YouTube.
Yeah, image it, yeah? Google images.
So, but the point I'm saying is that what you're going back to is like making that jump between, you know, you thinking you know so much and you could present. That's like being overconfident, and there's an element, can be an element of proudness as well. But for me, it's always that element of like, kind of what should happen. The more you know is actually lead to more humility, because when you have more kind of humbleness and humility, you actually lead to more discoveries. Yeah. Because you're always gonna be like, I know this, but there's some things I don't know. Are you with me? And I need to have that journey. And I think that was for me, again, going back to like my journey, and the kind of work was like, you know what? Like, for example, he was talking about adults and so forth, how we are the way we are. No one talks about like guys growing up on the estate and how it messes up their mind. Like these are so when I work with young people, I don't work with young people and have all these kind of recreational activity. I look at, okay, what's the psyche?
You know how I hate youth work.
Yeah. But do you know what I mean? But I look at it from the point of what's their psyche. And the more I did research and the more I understand their makeup, we don't talk about the stuff around when you grow up on the estates, when you grow up in broken homes, when you go through trauma at home and the adversity, and how they're talking about it now, like, do you know what I mean? And all this stuff, and how it affects us. And I had to reflect on myself as well, like growing up on the estate. You know, we talk about violence, and obviously they talk, like the government and the police are talking about violence. When you're being exposed to it every day, oh, this one got shanked, this one got beat up, and you become so desensitized.
Yeah, that's not normal, bro.
That's not normal.
It's not normal.
Jimmy, like someone was telling me that I just had this other day, yeah? They go, that's not normal. I said, no, that's not normal. You think it's normal because you made it normal.
Yeah.
No, that's not normal. Because other kids in other areas...
Yeah, go somewhere like in the sticks somewhere.
They don't grow up like that.
Bruv, it's like, it's crazy for them to see what's happening
because
in London.
The environment is not set up for that. Our environment is. So when you got block after block after block, and each block got 80 people, another block's got 80 people, another got a play, and you got one playground bang in the middle, and everyone's watching each other, right?
It's mad, bro.
That psychologically is that...
And no tools for them to solve...
To get out.
Not to kind of deal with conflict.
Yeah, 100%.
You don't have to deal with conflict. Someone approaches you, I'm going to bang him in his face. That's or someone, this guy, bruv, do you know how many times I've seen it when I was younger, bro?
Yeah.
Oh, you hear what he said about your mum? But there's no mum, no one said nothing. They're just bored, bruv.
Yeah.
Do you get me? But let me just quickly go through. Do you remember Bloom's taxonomy?
Yeah, man.
So, like, this is very, like, interesting, yeah? So if you say, I know something, yeah, this is what we use in teaching.
Yeah.
To take everyone through the levels, right? So on a basic level, let's take fitness, for example.
Yeah.
On a basic level, this is a press up, this is a sit up, this is a push up, yeah? In wrestling, this is a single leg, this is a double leg, this is whatever, yeah? That's just level 1, bro. You knowing what that is, like a kid, this is a tree. Does that make sense? That's an apple, yeah? Now, level 2, and by the way, if you look at the bottom, level 1 is primary school. Level 2 is secondary.
Yeah.
Level 3 is college. Level 4 is uni.
Right. Yeah.
And so on and so forth, yeah? So, level 2, understand, that is a tree.
Yeah.
So, describe a tree. What does it do? Can you... there's different types of trees. That's an oak tree. So, some people only stay in level 1 and then they think they're in level 7, bro.
Yeah.
And the internet is full of level 1 people, bro. The only thing, say for example, you've never done martial arts in your life.
Yeah.
And you meet a level 1 guy. he's a master in your eyes. But really in the industry, he's just a level 1 guy, bruv. Or if it's someone like, for example, a level 1 in maths or whatever it is. And that's the problem. The level 1 guys are the ones with the loudest voices.
Yeah.
The higher you get in the knowledge totem pole, the quieter you are. And the more you say, I don't know. Say that again?
The white belts.
The white belts.
And you know what? That's why, probably, you know what? That's
Exactly.
That's
see what I'm saying to you, bro?
Yeah, and that's why, to be honest with you, I think earlier on why I'm not coming on podcast, because that's my position as well.
No, but you're talking about something that is relevant to you.
I'm interacting a little bit on it.
No, I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
No, look. I'm talking to you about your experience. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's different because why is anyone going to listen to me?
Yeah.
But then I think to myself, I'm talking about my own experience. I'm not giving a lecture on something.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because I've given lectures and I prepare for lectures, bro.
Yeah.
So I'm just go up there and just start chatting breeze. I prepare, do research. Do you understand? I set the class up properly and all this stuff. So this is the issue with young people, bro.
Yeah.
And not just young people. Young people are like a microcosm of a larger problem.
Yeah.
It's just magnified. Yeah. Like YouTube is good. Studying is good if you can do it, but that's supplementary, bro. YouTube should be supplementary. There's a lot of stuff that you can learn of it. Don't get me wrong, but there's no substitute for having a teacher, bro. There just isn't.
But I think just also, and just I'm gonna jump on that, and I think just generally we lack on that is not just having a quote unquote teachers, but just having someone who's more learned in that area. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
Like if I've got any IT issues or cloud issues, I want to go to Mohammed or you guys and be like, look, give me some insight.
Also, you could.
I've got one brother, man. Shout out to my brother. I love this brother, Abdul Salam. If you could hear me, bro. He's a personal trainer. He was my go-to guy. I've got another brother. I love you, bro. For the sake of Abdul Rahim. If he's gonna watch this, I'm gonna watch this. He's a physiotherapist. He's another person I'll go to if I have some injuries or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So having people just know a lot more in that field, are you with me, yeah? And having different people adds so much value. Does that make sense? I was saying to someone yesterday, he was talking about having mentors. He was saying having mentors. And I always say to people, have different mentors.
Yeah, for
not just have one mentor for one thing. And also when you have mentors, make sure you have someone who's a lot older. Because one thing that Mohammed said was so true is that life experience.
Yes, bro.
That life experience is so valuable. A lot of my learning came from people's life experience. Like how they experience certain things. Whatever it is, I'll just listen and I'll be like, you know what? I've benefited a lot from that. And I think people as well as, again, human being, I think they more relate to someone's experience when they're telling the story. 100%. They'll be like, you know what? I actually went through this.
Yeah.
So even when I speak to young people, one of the things I do in my programs, I show vulnerability.
Yeah.
It was intentionally done. Meaning, I tell young people the challenges I went through and the adversity. I'll never do it outside because they're quite private. But I want to show these young people, look, it's cool, man. We all go through problems and we all come out of it. And it's just a little bit of storm. Because I want to demonstrate that to give them more comfortability. So I think that is so important to share those experiences and what you're saying and you know, and that's how I am in my program. I really encourage it, man. I think
and before anyone jumps on me and says like, oh, I'm not hating on people going online making YouTube videos but understand your level where you are. My problem is in jiu-jitsu, I'm a blue belt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it categorized like that pyramid?
Kind of. So I'm
so you get yellow. You get yellow belt, yeah?
I'm on the bottom.
Oh, you're on the bottom.
As a blue belt, you're right. You go bring it back up, Zach. Yeah.
Legions are breaking the traditional.
I would say just breaking into the number 2 where it says understand.
Bruv, man's coming in red suit, bro. They're gonna like was it right you? They're gonna come in right you.
We should have the, headbands with those colours in it.
Colours.
But you see what I'm saying? So for me, I'm there. I know I'm there.
Yeah.
Because in other places of my life, I've got mastery of some things, and I'm a beginner in other things.
Yeah.
So when I come into a class, I come into class with a student mentality. Do you understand? I try and understand. Like even if maybe I'm a senior person in that class or a junior, it doesn't matter. For me, I'm here to learn. Yeah. And that's what sometimes what stops some people progressing. I'll give you an example. This happens. Tell me this doesn't happen to you in your line of work. Yeah. Don't come and ask me for advice and you've already made your mind up.
Yeah.
Don't be an ask hole. Do you understand?
Can you bleep that out? Yeah.
It's not. But I haven't said anything.
Yeah.
Don't. Like, this is important, bro. Like, oh, bro, I need to do that. But you give them the advice, but that advice is you might as well chuck it in the bin because they've already made their mind up. They're just looking for someone to corroborate their decision. Does that make sense? Now, if you approach life where you genuinely, if you're coming at a crossroads in something, yeah, and you're unsure, or you're siding on one thing, but you're really unsure, try and approach it like more, what's the word? Impartial. Speak to different people, then make your decision. You understand? Like in the Quran it says, if you don't know something, ask those people who know. Paraphrasing.
Yeah.
And that's, if you live your, and for me, since I started doing that, when I started this podcast, before I started, I asked loads of people, bro.
Yeah.
I didn't make a decision in my head, I'm going to start a podcast, then ask people. I was like, what do you think? This is what I'm trying to do. And majority were positive. Said, yeah, this is a good thing that you should be doing. I've asked my parents, I asked my wife, I asked friends of mine, my colleagues, these guys. When I left my job, and the circumstance that I left my job was, I really wanted to leave because there was a scenario that happened that made me want to leave. But I thought, let me ask the people that I'm impacting. So I asked my missus.
Yeah.
I phoned up my father-in-law, asked him. I asked my dad, I asked my mum, I asked Amir, I phoned Khalid up. I even spoke to Zach. Do you understand? I don't know why I said even Zach, yeah, but...
Wow.
But, and I was like, look, what is the consensus here? And I took in consideration where everyone is at in their life.
Yeah.
And then I made my decision. I made istikhara, and then I made my decision. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the time, especially when you're young, you can avoid a lot of heartache if you ask for advice.
But that comes down to the mindset.
Yeah.
I don't know why I keep looking at Zach. Because Zach is not included in the show.
He's reckless, blood.
You get me? I know what you look like, but Zach is really.
He's
Zach,
there. You'll see him, bro.
honestly,
Don't
when I
worry.
watch when I listen to his podcast, Zach is the star of the show, bro.
Yeah, 100%.
Hey, allow me, bro. This guy, he came in.
Have you seen that game shows? Have you seen the game show where the guy comes with a voice? And tonight's guest is... That's Zach, bro. Like, that's how I look.
You know what's going to happen? Next time you come onto this podcast, yeah, you're going to have to bring a bag of dirt and dash it in everyone's face.
So, you know what? We get... We sort that out, bro.
got
There's
dash
some
a whole
outside,
bucket
bro.
of dirt on our faces.
There's a green area.
If you praise that, you have to dash dirt in our face.
But you know what, Zach? So, coming back to the point what Mohammed's saying, I think it's all down to the mindset. Like, I was doing some stuff as well, and I was really reflecting, like, just myself, like, what kind of mindset you had. And we hear it a lot. It's a buzzword as well. They talk about the growth mindset and fixed mindset. If you took away those terminologies, the features of that is, what is growth mindset? Growth mindset is basically always looking at your learning. Are you me? Yeah. Like, how can you learn more? How can you discover more? What are the things you don't know? How can you achieve the things that you don't know and learn? Are you with me? And when you have that, the people that come for the advice, we've already they have that fixed mindset. Because they're basically coming to you saying, I already know the answer, I just need you to confirm my answer.
That's it.
That's fixed
exactly
mindset.
it, yeah.
That's why I tell people when they come with an answer, I said, are you come to answer because you really want my advice? Or are you already kind of like figured it out? Because not being arrogant, but I'm not gonna
waste my time if you already made a decision.
do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, do you understand when you ask? So when I ask it, I try to, like, even when I go and ask like our different people for advice, I go in there like as someone, look, I don't know, man. I really need some direction. And I think that's the position you need to be on. Sometimes we can get overwhelmed with so many, because I know some people, they go to one advice or another advice,
Don't
another
ask
advice.
too many people.
Too many ask people. But definitely the one you said about impact. So I always look at who am I going to impact on? And I think they're obviously doing to have that advice. But I think definitely part of growing up and having that advice. And I don't know who gave you advice. That for me, you know, I had different people giving me advice. A lot of the time they were older people as well. You know, practicing brothers who are sincere, and been practicing for a long time, people in career as well. Do you know what I mean? Like different people I'll go to, but I definitely feel like this whole thing, what you're saying, is definitely around having that mindset. And I think if you don't have, like for example, when I'll give you an example, something that maybe resonate for you guys, that when you do your sports stuff around the grappling and what's the sports called, by the way?
Oh my god!
Because you know what, I get confused between
Wrestling and jiu-jitsu.
jiu-jitsu and BJJ. Like,
No,
bro,
jiu-jitsu.
I don't. Okay. Anyway, you can educate me afterwards.
I'll
Yeah.
educate you afterwards.
Yeah. But as I was
carry on.
grappling in it, yeah. The grappling stuff. The grappling stuff.
Yeah, the grappling stuff. And if
So-
go on.
Yeah, so when people come to you, like, you might get some people like, oh, you know what? Like, they might go on like they know they've done it before and they've been here and so forth, yeah? If you've got that mindset, that means you've got that fixed mindset.
Yeah.
But if you come in like, look, I've learned something before, that was over there, I want to come here, I'm maybe going to learn something new, and I'm open to that. I'm ready for that. What's Mohammed's going to show me today? What's Amin's going to show me today? What's Khalid? Do you understand? You're open to that. When you have that kind of attitude, you're already making a step to learn. And I think that's one of the things as well. I think, so when people come for advice and so forth, I always look at their mindset, where they're at, because I feel like they're either of these two categories. There's more deeper things on it, but I think they fall into these kind of categories. Even me, sometimes I think, do I go on like I've got a fixed mindset?
Sometimes you have you might not have a fixed mindset on one thing, and then another thing you have a fixed mindset on.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
You might
but
be
that comes
very-
down to knowledge, because you've like being overconfident, being proud because I know this stuff, I've done it before and so forth. All of that knowledge, so knowledge and fixed mindset is kind of that as well.
100%.
And then so sometimes even with kids as well, like some people can't take failures, man, because where they feel like if they fail, it's a label on them, innit? They feel like they make judgment on them, they feel others are judging them and all of these kind of things. And, you know, so they don't know how to overcome
AJ,
it.
You know that. That's a big thing. Failure
Yeah.
is so important.
That's, you know what?
But you know, like, I used to think man's gonna go through my whole life not taking one L, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? When you're little,
Yeah.
I'm not taking no L's my whole life.
No, it's true. It's true.
Do you see what I'm saying? And then what was that terminology someone said to me? He goes, manufactured failure.
Break it down for me.
Something like that. So manufactured meaning create in software, we call it sandboxing. That's the word I was gonna use, sandboxing. So when you're developing a program,
Yeah.
say for example the system's already running, yeah, and you want to test a feature of that software.
Yeah.
What you do, you create a sandbox, and that sandbox recreates the whole program, but in a specific thing called the sandbox. Whatever you do in that sandbox doesn't affect the wider system.
Okay.
Do you understand? So if
Yeah.
you break it, it doesn't matter. You can just restart again, and then when you're ready, you implement the features on the main software and you roll it out to your users. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You should be sandboxing things, bro. I'll give you an example. My son had a speech,
Assessment.
Starter kind of thing.
no, assessment. Like, so we had to prepare like a speech
Yeah.
to a teacher or whatever. So it was like the next day.
I'm gonna some of that sugar one.
You want sugar one, yeah? Quite nice. You look like your batteries are dying, bro.
You gotta come at the back of me and press the button. Do you remember back in the day? The batteries. See how much you got left?
Oh, them ones, yeah.
Bro, your thumbs are getting red, bro, by the time you get the one bar.
Yeah.
The bars don't come up your feet. You're hoping.
hurting, bro.
You start biting it.
Do you know what happens to
shaking
those?
it.
Do you know what happens to those batteries? But they end up going on the clock because he seems to work on them. You know that, innit?
Yeah, batteries are fishy.
The battery's
innit?
fishy,
Yeah.
you go,
It
"But
goes
you
from the
said to
remote. It goes from your toy to the remote.
That's like retirement for them. That's retirement. When they get to the clock stage,
That's it. It's done.
that's
It's
it.
a wrap.
And then we know when it's done. When you do that little hand, he starts flicking.
You got to
And it's not moving. So you're like, hold on. That's like a couple hours behind.
Man,
Anyway.
you're deep, bro. That's
So-
a new one. That's a new one, bro.
So you said about mistakes and failures. So you back his son.
What I was saying to him is, you're gonna go and deliver this speech, and you've never done it before.
Yeah.
Think about it, yeah? You've written the speech, but you've never performed it. So the first performance is gonna be in front of your teacher, where you're gonna be assessed. That's nuts, you know that?
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, you should have done it 15, 20 times in front of me or your mom or your brother, whoever it is. Does that make sense? So by the time you get to, where you're supposed to perform it, you've done it 15, 20 times. And that goes with anything. if you're studying for GCSEs. If you're sitting a GCSE exam, that's the first time you've done the studying, but you've never actually sat down and done an exam in exam conditions.
Yeah.
That's moving reckless, man. You should have done this 15, 20 times, man.
Yeah.
30 times, however many times are you supposed to do it? Same thing with, for example, if you're training for a competition. If you haven't put yourself in a situation where you're training, where for example, we've got open mats on Sunday, where you put the time, there's no learning technique. You put the timer on and you go at it for 5 minutes, like competition style. Because you can't just go rock up at a competition. That's the first time you've ever went hard. And plus you add nerves on top of that, and then you add, do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
So with what I was trying to do on the course, I was saying to them, mans are rocking up for job interviews, like they've never prepared for it, bruv. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I used to do it myself. Man, I'm just going to talk about, bruv, then you get there and you're like, I don't know what to say. These guys are assessing you, and you're going to get a job, and it's going to change your life, but you haven't prepared.
Yeah. And
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. And my position is basically, you've done the preparation. You're there now. You're in the storm or wherever it is. It didn't work your way. What's the mindset you're going to have now?
Yeah.
And sometimes people, and just generally like life, man, I think when people go through problems, even when you got like these young people, whatever, or just adults, they crumble, man. Like, I don't want to use it in a way like, why should they crumble? But I'm saying in a way that it's difficult.
Yeah, 100%.
Because they have all of these kind of like, they failed, and it just kind of escalates in terms of how they perceive themselves. Yeah. Are you with me?
It becomes deep.
They start they shy away into the corner. They didn't go their way. And only few could come out fighting again. And that's what really, for me, is like having that mindset. Because the thing is, I said this to some brothers the other day, like going through problems and anxiety and stress and things at home and things on, in your personal life, they're all part and parcel of life. You can't escape it.
Yeah. And you're never going to be always on top.
Yeah.
People think that I've made it. You ain't made it.
Yeah.
You're making it
or comfortable. Like, I think people just think they're comfortable. Like, alhamdulillah, I've got an income. I've got things going on. That's just one thing. For me, I get more anxiety of that period.
Yeah, if I'm comfortable.
I get comfortable because I know that, you know what? I'm comfortable. I'm happy. Maybe Allah's got some test around the corner. And I honestly, I feel like...
But Allah only tests those who love, though.
Yeah.
So maybe I've fallen out of favour.
Yeah.
I haven't... do you see what I'm saying?
So even that lens is about looking at that lens as well. Are you with me? It's about looking at this. So for me, going back to what we're talking about, like failures and mistakes, and it's just not just talking about mistakes, but also like problems and so forth. It's a matter of like, what mindset do you have, and how do you come out of it? And taking lessons, taking things that you need to improve on, taking things that, you need to work on, taking things that, I need to get a bit more insight, advice. That's how you kind of navigate from that. Do you know what I mean?
AJ, I wanted to talk to you about something. So this is the bit of the podcast that I really wanted, because...
What do you mean? Where you started?
Huh?
Where you started?
We're just getting cracking, fam.
Well, you gotta get another battery, bro. Go on, don't play.
So like everything that we've discussed so far. Now, the last week, I'm gonna told you one of your... I don't know if you call them employees or your colleagues.
Can we leave the names out though?
We're gonna leave the names out. We're gonna leave them out. Of course, I'll never heart that person up anyway. But
may Allah bless that brother.
Of course, yeah. And
he
you know who
he
you
is,
are.
Man.
Yeah,
Mashallah, may Allah bless
brother,
that brother,
young buck.
He's a grown man to me, bro.
He's a grown man, but he's young. Yeah. We've got to let them know. Yeah. Because sometimes, like, you need to understand where you are in life. Yeah. And so, over the past few months, there's been a lot of stabbings. Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of dangerous things happening with young people, especially in London. There's this, and sometimes we just find it's a hopeless situation.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? And as a parent, you're a parent as well. Yeah. You have like, I'm gonna speak to a lot of parents from the gym and my friends of mine and they.
By the way, I want to stop you.
Yeah, go on.
I think what you do, man, fantastic. I heard about it.
What's that?
The grappling stuff.
You scared me, bro.
I was gonna say jiu-jitsu, but I said grappling stuff. But honestly, reason for it, when we talk about this stuff, it's not no scientific approach. Even though I'm quite scientific in the way I approach things, I don't believe it's always have to be that approach. I actually think it's stuff like Mohammed and you brothers are doing. Honestly. Because when I heard about it...
We talk about Legion?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, right.
I'm not talking about the cloud, bro.
I don't know what you're talking about, bro.
I ain't seen the young people in your... No, but Legion, like, what Legion are doing, people might just think, it's just another, like, brothers are getting together and having some sort of, like, jiu-jitsu and training. But it actually gives an outlet.
Brother, let me explain something to you about jiu-jitsu and wrestling, bro.
In a bit, though.
No, I'm going to explain something to you.
Go on.
You know, we have written down curriculum, it's written.
I'm expecting to.
No, I'm being serious. It's written down.
Yeah.
It's systemized. The classes are structured. Do you get me? It's delivered in a specific way, which through my work and Amir's work and even Khalid as well, we approach our work like we're teaching a degree, bruv.
I wouldn't expect anything less, man.
That's what I'm saying to you. So when people come and see us rolling around and stuff,
yeah,
like on the outside, it doesn't seem like it's coordinated. Do you get me? But there's a lot of experience and what's the word? Thought got into it. But it's methodology. There's a lot of pedagogy involved. Yeah, there's a lot of when you're teaching, there's a lot of concepts because you've got different types. Same way when we're teaching in class.
It's
exactly the same.
Yeah, I can
methods
imagine.
But go on, carry on. What were you saying?
So the reason I say that, and I want to applaud you brothers, like may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it successful and really be a means to talking about this issue, because I really believe in what I call, I don't know if I coined this term, I just thought about it, it's called supervised recreational activity. A lot of these young guys are involved in madness and violence and out on the street is because they're not being steered into positive, like instead of any sort of activities. Because they've been left to their own devices, like here's the blocks, here's the corner, come home at 8, 9 o'clock when dinner's ready. Kind of thing. But when you got like these kind of activities and like parents are bringing them, more parents should be bringing them. If that's what your kids are into, that's what, and he's got, if that's what he's into and so forth, 100% I'll promote that. Do you know what I mean? Because I personally feel like that is where you're capturing them. Because I'm sure, Mohammed, with your experience, you can see the one who's coming up and even though you don't do it.
No, we don't. See, the thing is, we don't even get those type of kids.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like they don't even, that's not even in their periphery, but that's something that I'm looking at, inshallah, in the future.
You might think that.
Because outreach. Yeah. You need outreach, bro.
But you know what's a funny thing? You might think that on the face of it. You know, a lot of the time when I see Muslim kids, in front of their parents, on the face of it, you never think it. Because I see them on the program. When I do a bit more digging, I was like, okay, that's how you roll.
Yeah.
Are you with me? So you might not think it, but I'm sure if you go to school, and if it's, so for me, it's kind of like this. If it's from the estate, it's come from a single parent household, or it's come from like whatever kind of household and issues at schools and so forth, they already have some sort of acute kind of, but you won't see it because you're like thinking, he seems cool coming. Yeah. Because you won't show that because you'll have that, but most of the kids that I came to, I had a similar experience as well. I just had a program as well. So going back to what you were saying.
This is what I was trying to say to you. Yeah. So I was trying to line it up for you. Yeah. So, like you've got all this, so there's a lot of despair and like it's easy to kind of chuck these kids under the bus, bruv, because you know what, they're gone, bruv. Yeah. And you won't be, you'd be forgiven in thinking so, because you just see this recklessness, bruv, people killing each other, yeah. So when I was chatting to this brother, and there's another brother there as well, and they were saying, look, you can't talk to these young people, bruv.
I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah. What am I gonna say?
Huh?
Go on,
continue.
So my question, we're going to do a little exercise here. Yeah. And then because we're almost finished anyway.
Yeah.
If you take the lifetime of someone, let's take a typical young person that we deal with.
Yeah.
Who might, because you're dealing with pre...
Yes, I work in schools, like the schools who are, because we see it as a conveyor belt.
Yes.
The way I look at it is a conveyor belt, meaning it starts from school and then, if they get excluded, they're going to end up being what?
That's a red flag.
PRU, well, alternative provisions.
That's a university of crime, bro.
That's PRU for me. It's like I haven't been in one, but But from what I heard from young people, it's like prison, bro. It's like young people's prison. The way the hierarchy, there's a hierarchy there. There's the way the system is. Even though like
not
the organisation, not all
PRUs.
PRUs, or not, they don't call it PRU, they call it alternative provision.
Oh, they've changed it now.
They've changed it to alternative provision. But for me, there is some sort of research and data that what they call you're already on that train line. Because once you go to alternative provision, you're most likely to be on youth offending team. Once you go youth offending team, you end up in prison. You come out of prison, you re-offend because you've been institutionalized, and that's what the cycle becomes. So that's what really was going on. So
this is the thing, yeah. So, and there's gonna be parents listening to this who might be worried about their kids, or like, and I would say this, yeah. If you used to draw out, what are the things that you need? I've got my personal opinions, and we can discuss it. At specific junctures in their life, and I would say, look, under 7, very, very above. It's unheard of that kids involved in crime under 7. Yeah. Like they're at home, innit? They're watching Paw Patrol or whatever it is. Yeah. So unless it's mad, like unless the parents are crackheads or whatever it is. Yeah. And we're not talking about special kids. I'm talking about in general. Yeah. So taking the saying of Ali radiallahu anhu, he said,
let them play
up to 7. Can you bring that up? What was that?
I don't know if that's.
It was 777.
Yeah.
Up to 7, it says play with them. 7, be their friend. SubhanAllah, I can't remember it, bro. But anyway, so you look at 7 years old. So 7 years old, you're in primary school.
Yeah.
So between 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, you got 4 years. Now, in your experience, do you deal with primary?
No, I deal with teenagers.
So what? Yeah, it's year 8, innit?
Yeah.
So for me,
9, 10, 11.
Yeah, year 8 is when they start to kind of.
Yeah, they're innocent then, but they're still.
7 is innocent. 8, they started to kind of slowly the social circles start to become a bit more.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? It could happen in year 7, but I would say about 8, year 9, year 10. That's when things start to get.
Yeah. You'd be surprised. I'm getting requests to go and do some stuff in primary school.
Primary school, I think it should happen in primary school.
Yeah. In year 6, they say.
Yeah, so year 6. So that transition between year 6 and year 7, they need some man training, bro. I'm talking about boys.
Yeah.
Yeah? I don't know if you remember watching Roots. Have you watched Roots?
The film?
Yeah.
No, I've never watched it.
Back in the day, it's an old one.
Yeah, I never watched it.
And I think it's Roots.
One.
So they take them into the forest, bro. And then you come back a man. You know, like
Oh, like 300.
But that's a bit deep. They leave them to the wolves and stuff. Yeah, but like I'm talking about men. Girls I can't speak to. I don't have any girls. But I'm talking about men because that's our speciality. Yeah, boys. Yeah. Between year 6 and year 7, I believe they need to go on some sort of man training.
Okay.
That's loosely. It's a loose title, but learning some skills.
Yeah.
Some sort learning leadership.
Yeah.
Learning what's the word? Time management.
Yeah, practical skills.
Practical skills. Yeah. Like, do you remember what's that thing that you used to do in Duke of Edinburgh?
Yeah.
Something similar to that. So you take them out.
Excursions and stuff.
Excursions. These things, especially in that summer before they go into secondary school. And I think schools should run it for the year 7s. Yeah. Or as a parent, you can do it as well. And I think another thing as well, fathers, be active in your boy's life, man. Whether you're with the mum or not with the mum.
Yeah.
You need to be active in your boy's life, man. Mums, stop. Do you know how many, bruv? They don't let the dad see their kids. You got beef with the dad. You're messing up the kids.
Yeah.
Whatever problem. Yeah, he's not doing what he's supposed. Yeah, but bro, he's still his kids, man. Let him see his kids. Unless obviously he's violent or whatever. Most of the time, there's that risk. But I'm saying there's no risk, man. They're making that every time someone your dad, all of a sudden you divorce and all of a sudden you'll become a risk to your kids. We're married 15, 20 years. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Let the dad be involved in a kid's life. You're a parent. You're a dad. Let him be involved in your son's life. That's important. And I'm sure if you used to sit down and think about all the kids that you're dealing with right now.
Yeah.
What's the dad doing? That's what I want to know.
Boy, there's 2 terms, isn't it? There's a thing called
generalization.
Yes.
Generalization.
So there's single parent, which is the
so let me just read that out, bro. Yeah. So this is the saying of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It says, play with them for the first 7 years of their life, then teach them for the next 7 years, then advise them for the next 7 years. So look at the ages: 7, 14.
Yeah.
Yeah. So look, then teach them. So between 7 and 14, you should, as a father, as a parent, you should be teaching your child.
Yeah. But just adding to that though, yeah?
Yeah.
It's something that I was reading recently.
Yeah, go
that
on.
I think sometimes as well, parents, adults as well, don't understand the development of their child as a human thing.
Yeah, of course.
They don't understand
bro.
that they go through adolescence.
Yeah, of course.
Like I had to have the conversation with my kid, like, yo, just letting you know, you're gonna go through changes.
Yeah, 100%.
You might stop smiling.
Just letting you know.
Yeah, just like you understand that stuff, like even like you know, just certain things, because I think people don't realize that even kids themselves
They don't know what's going on.
realize
They
don't realize.
they don't get it.
You know what I mean? They're going through changes from chemicals, from like genetics inside and their body change. All of these changes happen. People don't realize it affects them. Are you with me? And also emotionally. So I think when parents don't realize that their child is going through that development, they're not supportive of that. They're quite imposing and dictative, meaning that's how I was growing up.
Yeah,
so you have to
and
grow up
they
like
forget-
that.
they forget what they were like.
because they never told
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
So when it comes to what you were saying about the parents stuff, yeah, I think, you know, one of the things I always say, and it's something, if I had to give one advice, it all comes down to all of what you mentioned, because I don't think it's one or the other.
Yeah.
I think all of that is important, and I you know, all of that is important. But one of the crucial thing is all down to relationships.
100%, bro.
It's about relationships. Now, what do I mean by relationship? Relationship, like, yeah, how was your day? What are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Do you understand? It's relationship meaning listening to them.
I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
You're in your 30s. You're bringing your kid to do wrestling, for example.
Yeah.
Why are you doing it, bro?
100%. Like, you know what? No, another one. When I see parents drop their kids to madrasa, it's
they
a lot
don't
of
know
time and
lick
they're
up Quran.
outside. They're
Yeah,
outside, bro.
yeah.
So a lot of time they're outside picking up the kids.
Yeah. The Maghrib's going on.
He's
and
waiting
you're
for his
outside.
son to come out to pray for his salah.
Mad.
I sit there, honestly, I just think to myself, why are you not coming in modeling?
Yeah.
That's another thing as well.
Yeah.
Modeling the behavior.
Yeah, 100%, bro. Don't tell them what to do.
You have
Be
to model.
what you want them to be.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Like recently, I've been on like,
And
you
bro,
know,
I'm not here preaching, bro, because man's got weaknesses, and I'm sure
yeah.
we all got weaknesses. But I'm saying the general rule. It's not. They're making it out like these kids are nuts because it's. I don't know why they're just crazy. No, like we've dealt with kids on that spectrum, bro.
Yeah.
On the knife edge, literally, bro.
and those people that say that, I wanted to mention this point earlier on, yeah? Those people who say that, they actually have the fixed mindset. I'll go back to his language again, about fixed mindset. Why? Because in their mind, they think, well, you know what? It didn't work for me, so it's not going to work for them.
Yeah.
Are you with me? So they're imposing their mindset on them.
But also, that's a hard truth you have to swallow.
Yeah.
Man got it wrong.
Yeah.
That's because for you to kind of like do something different, you
Yeah.
have to swallow that truth that, you know,
I'm
what?
wrong.
I'm wrong.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're different. Do you understand? So when it comes to our work, a lot of people don't believe in our strategy. They go, they ain't doing nothing, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, cool. But I know that when he says that, I go, yeah, because that's the world you perceive
Yeah.
it, and that's your fixed mindset. Are you with me? Yeah. Even the other day when people talking about violence, they go, they're going to retaliate with violence. I go, yeah, because that's all they know. That's another fixed mindset. If they have that, look, hold on, I don't have to always react and respond in that way. There's other ways I could figure it out.
Yeah.
Are you with me? It's something that we're trying to, like...
So to go back to kind of
Yeah.
like this, so if it says, look, teach your child swimming, archery, and horseback riding. So teach them sports benefit, teamwork, leadership, sportsmanship, physical fitness. Very important, especially for a boy in a society where they're saying there's no difference. This is the issue. I remember this is something that I was championing when I was working.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, they're boys. It's different for boys and girls. You can't
Yeah.
tell me it's the same. You just can't.
I came across this similar statement, or when I was coming across these kind of activities, and I was thinking, you don't have to narrate to these, kind of stick to these, extending them to any skills that's going to help
of
them
course.
navigate.
Yeah, 100%.
Are you with me?
Yeah.
Any skills that's
But
going to
I'll
help
give
them
you
navigate.
reading a map, doing orienteering,
Yeah.
doing rock climbing, doing anything, playing football even.
Yeah.
But I'm saying these are the things that need. But by the time a kid grabs a knife and goes outside it's too late then.
Because you know why? The reason people grab a knife.
It's not too late, but I'm saying, if they've committed the crime, it's too late, man.
Yeah, because when my kind of not opinion, my observation is that by the time they cut a knife, by the time they pick up a knife, because they never had any options before.
Yeah,
they never invested in anything. Most of the guys who come across who are in alternative provision and so forth, if you see what was you doing, it's like, I was into football, but then I left. And I was doing this and I was doing that. Are you with me? And I was like, wow, you was doing all these things. So why did you drop it? I don't know. But they needed someone just to kind of anchor down.
Yes.
They needed someone to anchor that and say, look, go back
to
even now. So
whether you like it or not, bruv.
Yeah, so this person now,
yeah.
I said to the colleague, I said, get back into football. If you really enjoyed it, and he said to me, get me in the football team. Because the thing, like I said, by the time they pick up the knife, because they never had no option, that was the only option. Yeah. And they looked so, it's sad, man, psychologically, because that's how low they thought themselves. That means I'm so low that the only worthy thing I have is for me to stab someone, even if it means the consequence of that I end up going pen.
Yeah.
But if he values something else, that, you know what, I'm invested in this and this person's invested in me. So for how many like sports coaches or mentors or youth or whatever,
but also
save these people like from being, do you hear me? So,
AJ, let me tell you something, bro. Yeah. Like my son wanted to quit wrestling. I said to him, let me tell you something. You're not gonna quit, bruv.
Yeah.
You're gonna do it until you're 18.
You're hearing this, yeah?
I'm sorry, bruv. Because I know what's best for you, yeah? And you're not gonna, because the thing is,
if he quits, bruv, we're gonna stick on him, yeah? If he quits,
he's not quitting.
We roll up.
But this was he hit at age like 12, 13.
Oh, okay.
And then you know what? They just, it's like, I just want, just got like, they got to a point where, you know what, he fell out of love with it a little bit. I said, bro, that's standard. Like, going in wrestling is like, I don't know, walking to school. It's the same thing, bruv. For me, you're gonna do it, bruv.
What does he want to do?
I don't care, bruv. No, but for me, it's like you're doing it. Or what did he want to do instead of that?
Yeah,
nothing, bruv.
Okay, yeah.
So that's my problem, innit? But eventually,
but if he came to you and said, "No, what?" Because Abby, yeah.
Yeah.
So he said, "Abby, I don't want to do wrestling, but can I do this?"
Like what? It depends what it is, bro.
I wanna go swimming.
No, you can do swimming and wrestle, bro. There's bare time. You got bare time. You're just gonna do it when you've become an adult. Once you get your black belt in jiu-jitsu and you're at a level in wrestling, you get your black belt in wrestling as well.
Yeah.
Then make that decision yourself. But as a father, and you're under my care, this is the rules of the house. You do it. Obviously, if there's like a real problem with him doing it, I'm gonna consider it. But we've gone past that stage, and they're all excelling in it, bruv.
Yeah,
That's the thing. So, but not just the wrestling part of it.
Yeah.
For me, it's the benefit they get outside of it, bruv. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
100%.
It's
the environment.
So that guy with the football, if his dad was about, and his dad was sticking it, bruv, you sure you want to start football, bruv? You sure? Because if you start it, you got to see it through, bruv.
But it's about supporting them as well.
And supporting them.
Like my boys goes football, yeah? Last 15 minutes is of game. I make sure I leave the coffee shop to go and watch him game. I'm the loudest parent, bruv. Especially Bangladeshis, innit? They're not used to loud ones. I'm like, yo, take him out.
Take him out. It's wrong sport, bruv.
So, but so it's, just like, so the point is that, do that, but you have to be supportive. Sometimes, one thing as well, and maybe just me, is the type of language I'm always mindful of.
Yeah.
Sometimes we blame They ain't doing it. He doesn't want to do it. He doesn't want to go, and they're the problem and so forth. But one thing we need to do is here. What do I need to do to be supportive? What do I need to say to help the barrier? What is the barrier? What is the issue? Why does he not want to go? What's going on? How can I help you? Do you know what I mean? And it's about that.
And by the way, I paraphrased a lot.
Yeah,
because we had conversations about why and stuff. And I think for me, I know it sounds deep to someone who's listening. Why are you forcing him to do something he doesn't want to do? But you know your kid. You understand?
Yeah.
Like, and you know what's above. Like, we're in an environment where the government dictates to you how to raise your child, bro.
Yeah.
And I resent that, bro. Because you ain't paying for his clothes.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
You're not paying to feed my kids.
Yeah.
They're my kids, bro. You don't tell me how to raise my child.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're not going to the whole abuse situation.
No.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm a parent that knows what's best for my child.
Yeah.
Keep it moving, bruv. You sort out the petrol crisis.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sort out the petrol crisis, because bruv, my government is working fine, bro, inside my house.
The government of Mohammed.
Yeah, bro. Every man is a government, bruv, in his house. Wife is prime minister.
Yeah.
Yeah? But you keep the roads moving, bruv. That's your job, innit? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, like, I remember my coach said, like this. Nah, bro, that's my kid, bruv. He does what I tell him, bruv.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I will listen and I'll observe but there's sometimes bruv, at 12, what decisions are you making at 12, bruv?
But you know what it is though?
Big boy decisions.
Yeah.
Come on,
you know what? And this is
at
going to be...
16, I remember choosing my A-levels, bruv. That was a madness, bruv.
But you know...
Do you remember that?
See, and this is what comes down to...
Wow,
Like,
you just finished your GCSEs.
Yeah.
Now pick what you want to do for the rest of your life. What?
But you know what? But the thing
But do you remember that, bro?
Yeah. But what I'm saying...
No advice as well. Just pick whatever.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is...
Like, arts and crafts.
You know, but you know what? But you have to understand that kids at that age, is whether we like it or not, they want some sort of ownership. They want some sort of be included. Not even independence, because I think sometimes
I've got two words for you.
Hold on.
Sandboxing, bruv.
Sandboxing.
You can have ownership in this box here.
Yeah.
The box gets bigger and eventually you'll leave the box.
Yeah.
But you have to...
But when I say ownership, I don't mean they have to have complete ownership.
No.
Like, for example, I'm talking
But
about...
I'm coming across like some dictator,
No,
bro, but I'm not. Wallahi, I'm
not
not.
at all. It's not even that. No, not even that.
But
I think you're obviously... I understand what you're saying, like, in terms of, like, you know, you're seeing the benefit that your little ones got out of...
Do you know who's benefiting, bro?
Who?
Can I tell you who's benefiting?
Who?
My kids are not stabbing up people on the street.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm saying, yeah.
My kid's not robbing someone, bro. My inshallah they're not. And if they do, they'd have to deal with me, bro.
Yeah.
Forget police. Do you understand? They have to deal with me. My job is that my kids are doing good in community, in our society, not bad.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Of course.
It's not the government's problem, bro. It's my fault as a father if my son is going to go out there and commit crimes and oppress people, bro.
Yeah. And you're looking at for his well-being.
If he's an adult and does it,
yeah.
it's gonna. Yes, I'm to blame, maybe.
Yeah.
But he's an adult. I can't. Does that make sense? But as long as they're under my roof, I am responsible, bro. And sometimes I've met with parents, bruv. I remember one time, this girl, she came onto the course.
Yeah.
Bruv, her kid still had. What's the fluid you have in the womb?
Ambiolic fluid.
Ambiolic fluid.
Okay.
Whatever, in his hair. The umbilical cord wasn't even cut, brother. She's in the, I want to do a course. I was looking at her, the kid couldn't even hold his head up, bro. I'm not saying don't do the course. I was like, raw, what is going on here? She came with her mum.
Yeah.
And her mum's all rubbernecking me and giving it all that, bruv, and saying, yeah, you need to get her on. And I'm like, raw, what's going on here, man?
Look after your kid first, man.
Bruv, she's 2 weeks, she bounced, bruv. She bounced after 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But there was no, she didn't take ownership of the problem.
Yeah.
As a parent, if my child is 14, 15 years old and has a baby, I got to ask myself, did I give her the right education, bro?
Yeah.
I'm not here to blame anyone. But we've got to take ownership,
I think sometimes, but also, it could swing the other way. And that's what my kind of, if you heard swing the other way, meaning sometimes when we cling on so much, because that's one of the things I came across with young people.
But why does it have to be that way or this way, Habibi?
It's not even.
Why does it have to be that we let go?
It's not even that.
Or we hold like this.
But how do we? But that's the
ebbs and flows, isn't it?
Yeah.
You hold in some bits, you let go in some bits.
I think the balance.
There's a balance.
It's the balance.
100%.
It's the balance.
Yeah.
So there's some things that don't want to be non-negotiable. 100%. And I get that. 100%.
You're staying in school.
And you have to.
You're staying in school.
Yeah. So you have to, as an adult, as a parent, you have to have things that are non-negotiable. Are you with me? But what I find with these kids who like very kind of rebellious, when I look at like not all the kids, but some of them is that fact that, especially Muslim kids, to be honest with you, is that parents will just cling on to them, and so the society just allows that, and then boom, they'll just, do you understand? And that was it. Yeah. And so when I look at the background story, I was like, oh, I had to do this, I had to do that, and so forth. So one of the things, and you don't have to take it on, I'm just saying like for my kind of approach is kind of like, you know, yeah, you might have the final say, but to get to that final say, it's about having those conversations.
Yeah.
Are you with me?
Yeah.
That's cool. You could have the final say. I
There has
understand
to
that.
be. It can't be dictatorship, bro.
Yeah. So you having that conversation. Why? What's the issue? Okay, what's the barrier? How are you feeling? And so forth, yeah? Having those conversation, you know, then you feel like, hold on, he might feel like, you know what? No, I don't want to talk about your case, but just generally young people. Because again, when we talk about relationship, for me, this is so crucial. Because young people, they just don't feel like, I had this one case, man. Like, he was like, my parents don't listen to me.
Yeah.
And I said to the parent, just like, even when I went to go meet the family, I was like, I said to him, I prepped him, I was like, look, I'm going to give you this time, speak your mind. But obviously, I'm not going to let him disrespect. I said, just speak your mind. And so I let him do that. And then the parents kept talking for him, over him.
Yeah.
And I was like, look, let him just listen to him.
Yeah.
And after he spoke, I said to him, how did that feel? And he was like, you know what, it felt good because normally, you know how kids are, innit?
Yeah.
They just shy away and they just sit back. So for me, it's not a matter of either of either. It's okay, that's fine. You wanna get here. How do you get there? And I think once you figure out how you get there,
It's a conversation.
it's a conversation, man. Brother, I even had a conversation with my kid. I'm gonna sound so liberal now, yeah. But even with my kids, was like I had a conversation with him, like, not what school do you go? We already had our mind, but I was testing what school do you want to go? And like, how do you feel if your friends weren't going to school? And do you understand? Like, I had to consider this because at the end of the day, I was saying to my missus, like, I'm not going to school. He's going to school for the next 5 years. So how he experience is so important.
But how does you? The thing is, obviously, I get what you're saying, but you know what? I've just had 15 cups of tea, bruv, and I need to go to the toilet, bro. So
right.
just pause it there for a sec. All right, thank you guys. I feel I'm on my back. I feel rested now.
Feel light, yeah.
I was like, where am I gonna cut? Well, I don't want to cut him. He's saying he's got some good content, mashallah. And then,
but anyway,
where do we leave off?
Just going back to the point. I think summarising.
But I probably come across as some dictator,
not at all, man.
But I
Not
promise you, look, have those conversations with your kid. Have that relationship where you can actually give your son advice and he'll take it. That's number one. Number two, be open to, because you don't know everything. Yeah. But there needs to be that relationship where they feel that they can sway your decision if they give the right. You got to come correct, bro.
Because that shapes their perception.
But
like,
I'm sorry, don't move reckless. Don't come to me and say, you know what, I want to quit school in year 9. And me say, oh, let's have a conversation about that. Bro, that's not happening.
That's cool. Yeah.
Or like for example, I remember like one of my eldest, he's going into college next year. So there's that conversation about what do I want to do for a live. I said, listen, don't make that decision now. Don't be an employee, bro. Don't shape yourself. I said, look, do what you like to do in college. What do you like doing? What subject do you like doing? Work comes later. Don't worry about that. I've met musicians that work in banks, bro. Like, honestly, he's got a music degree and the guy's a trader, bro. So that bakwas that they fed us in school that, oh, if you got to decide at year 9 what you want to do when you're 21 years old, bro. Come on, man.
Yeah, true.
So for me, it's like there's certain things, and also, like I said, it's a to and fro. Depending on what age they are, bro.
But when I say this,
carry on. I agree with you, by the way, what you're saying.
But last point is this. Even if you decide, and every parent has the right to, if it's a child, they have to decide like what they want to do and so forth and etc. My way I look at it is that whatever you do, you want to make your child feel that they can approach you. Yeah. That's the point I'm trying to say.
100%. Yeah.
Are you with me? Because if you go about it in a way where, no, I'm not going to approach him next time and I'm just going to go and do it, what you've done is that basically close that door for any future conversation. And that's the point I'm trying to say. Is that because remember, that relationship you have is not just now, it's for the next 10 years, the next 12 years, next 15, 20 years. And you always want to leave them with that, you know what, I could always approach my
100. Like, for example, you get married.
Yeah, bro.
So they get married, sorry.
Yeah.
They should be able to come and ask you for advice, bro.
But if they can't, because they go back to that incident, he shut me down. He shut me down.
Or
you know what I'm just saying? We suffered from that. We suffered from that kids. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm talking, and I actually don't talk about it from like I'm some expert. I remember from my experience, and I think maybe that's why I changed my approach, and it's got me to think like, you know what, nah.
Don't get too vegetarian though, bro.
Who, me?
Yeah.
But them lentil crisp are nice, bro.
but you know it is AJ. This the thing. It's like we need to.
But the approachable doesn't. It's not compromising though.
No, it's not. It's not compromise. I'm not even saying compromise. I'm just saying. Yeah, that's what my point was. If you're of a fixed mindset as a parent, and you're the same dude
from the alert behavior.
So imagine, you're a parent. So you had kids in 2006, and it's 2030, and you're that same guy from 2006.
Most
and
people,
you haven't.
Some people are, man.
Bruv, I know people like that, bruv. Yeah, that they haven't. The world that your children live in is not the world that you're living in.
Yeah.
And we made a joke last time about, I say this about Bengali parents, say that about Algerian parents, same. My man's living in Bangladesh or Algeria, and your kids are living here, and he's on the Leica mobile. Is the land? Did you buy the land and who sell this? Like, bruv, he's in Bangladesh, he's in Algeria, bruv. And his kids are running up London, joking man's up. And then you're surprised. Oh, I didn't know this. Like my son was doing this, and they're all surprised and whatnot. But you weren't there though.
Yeah.
You've. It's like you've stayed in this kind of like vacuum sealed. You're still living in 1997, bruv. And it's 2021.
And that is one of the things that's coming up.
100%.
Like that generation gap.
Massive.
And you got to understand to navigate. You know, so even my eldest, like I would like him to get into coding, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I would like him to get into IT and what. But again, I don't impose that that's what into.
That's an option.
That's an
and
option.
if you want to get into it, here's some.
But
courses.
again, it's the matter of you creating that menu. Like you got this option, you got that option, but you decide. Because that day, I know for me to enjoy what I do, it's a different level and a value of just. I can't remember I was ever sick, like or even called a sickie. Like, do you know what I mean? I really enjoy my job and that contentment, that satisfaction. And that's why for me it's like, you know what, longer obviously he's a bit young now, but wherever he goes with, if he asks for career advice, I'm like, yo, whatever you enjoy, man. Because that's the most important thing. Because you gotta get up every morning
and do it.
And
you got
if you're gonna enjoy it,
part of
you're gonna be dragging yourself.
And there's gonna be a point in your career where you're gonna be doing something you don't want to do.
Yeah.
So it's not like Rambo, not Rambo. So Rocky, life's not all sunshines and rainbows.
Okay.
Do you remember Rocky 6?
No.
The last one is old.
Okay.
And it's by the way, his son needs to get smacked, bro.
His sons are wetty, bro.
Rocky's son needs to get smacked up, bro.
His sons are wetty.
He needed a couple of slaps, bro.
Are you talking about character or are you talking about
character?
Okay, sorry.
Character.
All right, I'm getting confused.
And I remember I had a conversation with my son today. I said to him, so I said, like, how's school going and whatever? And he's like, oh, it's all right, and this, that, the other. I said, let me explain something to you, yeah? Imagine your 21-year-old self had a time machine and traveled back in time. So the decisions you're making now is going to affect 21-year-old you. Do you understand what I'm saying to you, bro?
Yeah.
Do you think he's going to be happy with the decision you're making now? And how's that going to affect your 21-year-old self?
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? You're not going to feel the effect. Sometimes it's like a pebble. You throw it in the... One small decision is going to make a massive ripple, and good or bad.
Yeah.
So I said, don't be that guy that regrets. Regret is the worst type of feeling.
100%, yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And on that note, I'm going to make you regret. Zach, you loaded it up?
Yeah.
So we've got
maybe play Street Fighter, yeah.
We've got a new segment of this podcast where I...
We should have done it throughout the whole podcast, you know?
Well, just chat
Play
and do
and
the whole
chat.
thing.
Yeah,
that could have
man.
been a wicked...
That would have been a wicked one, you know?
Yeah.
But then it would have made it good. It would have been a good excuse if I lost.
Exactly,
I'd be like, nah,
School Street Fighter, yeah?
that's cool, bro.
And who was your go-to guy when you used to play? Did you used to play it?
Yeah. But you know what? I like the... Is it Street Fighter 5 with Akuma?
Ooh. So what was it on? What console was it on?
We used to play arcades, man.
Okay.
I couldn't afford
arcades. What in Trocadero?
You man's got a PS5, yeah?
Yeah, bro.
Okay. This is why he wanted to become an entrepreneur.
Nah, but that's what happens when you start Mr. Clicky, bro. Just start clicking.
Remember the Street Fighter film?
That was so...
The most deadest film, bro.
Bro, that was heartbreaking.
If that was on... What's it called?
Start, bro.
Let's start. Yeah?
Press that little... Oh,
you know what? If that was... What's it called? Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh,
reviewed that. Is my thing moving?
Yeah.
Oh my. Bro.
Hey, he's gully, bro.
Gully.
Hey, this guy's a cheat, by the way. He's gonna do the same moves over and over again.
Bison every time.
That's what you get, bruv. Don't come into my house trying to beat me, bruv. Bro, did you move the thing?
Oh my.
He's a blocker, innit? You're a blocker, bro.
But I can't even pull out a move, bro.
He's a cheat, bro. He's a cheat. He does the same
How
thing.
am I cheating, bro?
You do the same thing.
I know
Why
the
did he
move.
choose? Why did he choose this game?
Because like, what do you mean? You got smashed, bruv. Come on, man.
Uh-oh.
Get out of here with your mad moves, bro.
There you
Bro, you see that neon punch to the stomach, bro?
But that doesn't. How is he do that upside down kick though, bro?
That's
Look.
Hey.
That's madness.
Bruv, that's, you know what? Back in the day, if you want to win, just sweep mans, isn't it?
oh yeah.
Do you remember back in the day, you just get them to come and look, just
Like
do them
this.
ones look like that's it. Ah, like this.
Barakallahu fik, AJ. Jazakallahu khairan. Hopefully, we haven't. I appreciate you coming down, bro.
Nah, man.
Honestly,
it was a
wallahi, bro.
privilege. It was an honor. Alhamdulillah. It was.
And inshallah, I would love to come down to where you're working and stuff.
yeah,
innit?
inshallah.
And maybe do a workshop or something. I don't know.
Definitely, man. Definitely.
Sharpen my skills up, bro. 'Cause
Yeah,
I've done
man.
it for a few years, bro.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Even if
Do
you want to come
something.
down, do some, wrestling or whatever, jiu-jitsu, whatever. it is.
Yeah.
Just like a workshop.
Yeah.
I'm happy to do it.
Yeah,
He's
appreciate
saying,
that.
but in his eyes, he's saying, nah, man.
No, man. No.
He's still upset that he lost. That's
He's been salty, bro.
But if he wants to come and do that bison move, innit?
AJ Barakallahu fik. And we will conclude on that. We'll conclude on that. So, guys, thank you very much for watching. It's been the Grappling with Life podcast with my lovely esteemed friend Abdul Jaleel. I will catch you on episode
next one,
which might be. Let's not do that. We'll catch you in the next episode.